Okay, so uh, another shitty video. So Lewis Rossmann, okay, he's a YouTuber that I watch a fair amount. He's just sort of one of those. He's always got some interesting topic or whatever, and generally, I generally respect his content. But more recently, he's produced content that doesn't. I mean, primarily, I'm referring to a particular few videos where he's got a particular view about piracy that doesn't actually make any sense. Um, I mean, I'll explain, and then you can make your own decision. It's one of those. I mean, it's not as serious as one, but it's like those. It's like I was going to try and make. I was going to relate it to a particular subject, and I decided I'm not going to do that actually. So, because it's a sensitive topic, so I better not. But anyway, so this video a couple of days ago.
7 years. So there's genuinely no love lost for.
So I'll skip through the beginning bit where it's just got his cat and stuff, but.
I use for live streaming my entire drive, kind of like a live dash cam, and the other phone I use for playing podcasts in the.
So this bit is basically where he's got YouTube Premium, he's got a couple of phones, he's going on some kind of road trip, he wants to download a video so he can watch it on the road trip. I'd say that's a reasonable request.
Car so that I can listen to something if I'm on a 27-hour long road trip. And as a result of this, I only have one SIM card, so only one of my phones will be online. What I'll do is I'll have my secondary phone that has a couple of videos downloaded, since my first phone will be doing the live stream, and also my first phone is almost always out of storage, so I can't fit anything anyway, and I will play it on the road trip. Since I had pre-planned my road trip about 4 days in advance, these videos were sitting on a phone that was offline for 4 days. So when I went to play the video, imagine my shock when it said the downloaded video I had downloaded won't play unless I connect to the internet.
So yeah, I can understand his frustration here. I mean, if it was me and I had some, because I understand why YouTube has a restriction like that, because you could just download whatever and then have the phone offline forever, and then you'd never have to pay for it again. Because essentially, what you're doing here is like it's like if you were renting a movie, or when you've got a subscription to Netflix, you don't suddenly own all the, own an infinite, perpetual license for all the movies that are on the platform at that time. That's not how it works. You have access to the service while you're paying for the service. That's how their thing works. Okay, if you don't buy the movie, you can go and buy outright. You can go on a website and buy the game outright. Buy the movie outright or game, whatever. It applies to games as well. Or you can go and buy a physical disc if you really want to. Okay, but yeah, it's kind of how that works. So yeah, for him to turn around and go, well, they've got this limitation that I don't like. Piracy is justified, which is what he'll say in a minute. I'm jumping ahead here, but he basically says this is a feature I don't like and how they've implemented it. Instead of me complaining or finding an alternative or anything like that, or just putting up with it, there's loads of stuff that we have to put up with all the time that we don't necessarily like. Okay, he's going, well, piracy is justified. I'll explain in a sec why that makes just no sense, no logical sense. But
At this point, I learned that had I actually just pirated these videos and used YouTube Downloader, I would have actually had a better experience for free than I did paying $10 a month.
I mean, obviously, if I go into a shop, okay, I'd have a better experience not paying for what I walk. Let's say it was ye old Blockbuster times or whatever. I could go in and get hand over money, which money is basically for most people. I know there's wealthy people who are smart with money and make more money, not necessarily tied to how much time they spend. But for most average Joes that go to a job, that money is a representation of how much time you've spent on doing something. Okay, you've gone to your 9 to 5 job, you've spent a certain quantity of time. That translates into this number of money, and you're basically exchanging that for things. So that's basically the whole point of that thing. And I'm not going to, I'm not no economist, but I think we can understand that. So it's an inconvenience for me to have to work to now enjoy, a movie or whatever. So, but we'll just cut out the middleman. Why don't we just not work and just go out and go into a shop? I'm hungry. Just grab all this stuff. Just walk out. It's an inconvenience to walk up to the store and have to scan all the items and wait in line and then bag it all up and take it to the car. And no, it's a hassle. It's a mess. I just go in and just scoop it all, and then just leave. Why? Well, I pay for it. It's a hassle, isn't it? So that point there just doesn't make any sense. And you may be like, well, it's digital goods. It's not this. No, it is. If you're doing it morally, and again, this here, what he's talking about is it's justified. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the word he used. It's justified to pirate based on the service that he's receiving, the fact that it's inconvenient, and that's his justification. Now, I'm not going to get into a big battle of the morality of piracy. We've all done his fair share. I'm not no saint when it comes to piracy. I've done, and scenarios differ. There's old cartridges, of really old games and stuff that there's very few or none of, and the only thing that remains is a digital, ROM that's been, ripped from that cartridge. In which case, it's really the only way to preserve it. But in that scenario, it's more around preservation rather than just getting something for free, and B, there's no longer any financial, they're not if it's an old game like that, there's no longer, Nintendo are no longer producing that game, so you can't go directly to Nintendo and give them money and contribute. So the only way to get it is let's say you even wanted to get the legitimate cartridge, and even if it costs £1,000,000, you're handing that £1,000,000 to some other person that already has the cartridge. That money is no longer going to the people who made the game. They're not benefiting from that. Okay. Now, again, that's why I'm not going to delve into it even further because it goes into all sorts of. It depends on your view. Okay. But that sort of piracy is a bit more. It differs a bit because it's more around preservation. This here, though, this is an active. Actually, let's go and find. Actually, I think I was about to look at it anyway. So he did another video a bit ago. Where was it? It was like 2 weeks ago, I think. There we go. Piracy is completely justified.
This is the 7980XE processor that glorious bastards on a date.
Alright, so yeah.
Money again. Another example of this. I wanted to watch the movie Inglourious Bastards.
So you wanted to watch the movie Inglourious Bastards. Okay, so how is he going to go ahead and watch that movie?
On a date the other night. So I decided that I was going to go online and I was going to do the proper thing because again, I'm almost 35 at this point in my life. I have enough money that I can afford to rent or buy a movie without piracy. So I go online and I go to buy it on Amazon Prime. And I go over here, I go to Amazon Prime, and I go to watching Glorious Bastards, and I go to click Rent in HD, and I put my password in, and I click sign in, which I hope to God I edit out of the actual video that I'm editing. I'm just going to tap here so I remember to do that. And I get this bullshit message. Resolution support. HD videos aren't supported on your device. This video will play in the highest supported resolution. Watch this video in HD on supported devices. So I figured, okay, you know what? I'm using a schizo browser. Maybe I'll use a more normal browser. I'll use normal Chrome and see how that works. Nothing. Still get the error. So, okay, maybe you guys are really kind of off your rocker here. I'm going to reboot into Windows because I'm using Linux. I'll reboot into Windows and I'll try Chrome and Edge in Windows. Surely that will work. I reboot into Windows and on Chrome, not Chromium, Chrome and Edge, it still gives me this error. At which point I go, I'm going to go get the movie from somewhere else where I'm going to be paying considerably less than the $4 that you wanted me to pay, not because I want to be a pirate. Not because I want the people who created the content to not be compensated for their work, not because I believe in getting everything for free, but because you have gone out of your way to be a dickhead and try to restrict how I view my own effing content. This is a 7980XE product.
Okay, so now he just goes on about performance and stuff. But, so yeah, so his point there is, and again, this isn't a video about Amazon in specifically. I don't think I've only just watched that bit there for this, but this is a bit to do with YouTube. It's not, yeah, exactly. YouTube is a entirely different company, so it's just to do about piracy in general. So his options there, right after he goes to Amazon and goes, well, I'm having difficulty here, isn't to go somewhere else. I mean, again, going back to the physical store thing. If I went into a shop and go, I don't like this is, if I went into, you remember when That's Entertainment was, you've got there's like game and there's sex and there's Also there's loads of shops. HMV, you buy movies, games, and stuff from all sorts of places. You go into one shop, maybe it's a really bad price, or you just don't like how the guy behind the counter's looking at you, whatever it is. Maybe the carpet's the wrong colour. I don't care what your reason is, but you might go in there and go, I don't want to buy it. So is your option now to then steal it? No, you go to another store. Or at least the normal person does. But in his warped mind, the justification is okay. Well, it's now in a situation, and I agree that it's frustrating. What he just described, where he's not able to watch it, is frustrating. I don't know why Amazon's imposed that thing. I don't know why YouTube has this three day. Oh, that's kind of driving me insane. That. So I don't know why YouTube has this 3 day limitation. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, regardless of what bit of Amazon or YouTube you don't like. The answer, okay, if you don't like it, is the moral answer at least, is to find it elsewhere. Go somewhere else. That's the answer. Okay, not just steal it. That's not the moral answer. So for him to say it's completely justified, which is what he's put in his thumbnail, that's what he's saying it's justified because they're being dicks, whatever. It isn't justified. His reasoning for it being justified is wrong. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay. So I mean, look, here's Inglourious Basterds. It's on YouTube. Just buy or rent it on here, dude. Go back. Oh look, you can go on. Oh, you can go on Netflix. Go on. You tried Amazon Prime. Oh, Apple TV, Google Play. There's several different companies. Is Amazon the only company that you like? Is that what it is? Go out and buy it on a disc then. Order it online on eBay or something. There's loads of options you can do. So piracy isn't in this situation. What he's described, piracy isn't justified. Okay. Now maybe he just picked a bad example. I don't know. But seeing as of the two videos that he's produced, the two examples with YouTube Premium and his Amazon thing, it doesn't. Both examples don't add up. It's just dog shit. So anyway, that's the video. Just wanted to point out his flawed logic. I like Louis Rossmann. Probably still going to watch his videos, but this particular one, I think he got it wrong. Maybe he was tired or something. But what he's saying just doesn't add up. Doesn't make any sense. So